What are you supposed to do when you absolutely, undoubtedly have these periods of time where even if everything you do with your nutrition and your lifestyle and your supplements is perfect, there is going to be a time where your gut just feels off? And this could be because you actually are just acutely sick with something and it's passing through, or it could be the start of something a little deeper and more problematic. What do you do? I am actually going through one of these periods right now, and I thought to myself, oh my God, this is so miserable. I have no idea what's going on. I shouldn't have any issue. I don't normally have any issues. What am I going to do? And as I was sort of thinking about this and deciding on how I was going to try to help myself, I thought this is going to be really helpful for you guys too. I'm actually super interested to hear some of your tips as well, because everything I'm going to say, it might not work for you, because these are not solutions at a root cause. These are, how are we going to get through the day without wanting to die? These are things that work for some people and don't work for other people, because ultimately it really does depend on what the root problem is. And remember, at this point, we're assuming we don't know what's going on. We don't know if it's like, oh, I just ate something bad, I have a touch of food poisoning, or if that happened last week, I didn't even realize that, and now I've got a whole issue, or if you are developing something deeper like Candida, or maybe you have H. pylori or SIBO or something like this. Okay, so here are some things that have been helping me, and I think, even if I haven't tried them yet, will be very helpful to you. So I'm going to start by saying this. The most important thing for me during this period of time is knowing that I will have answers soon. So I finally got to the point where I just did a stool sample test for myself, because I could not take not understanding what was going on anymore. And so this entire last week, as I was feeling super bloated, waking up feeling that way, everything I ate made me feel worse. I don't have any appetite, but I'm trying to also figure out how to feed myself. And I feel uncomfortable in my clothes and uncomfortable in my body. And the thing that helped me get through that week and all of that sort of mental stuff was knowing that I'm gonna have answers in about 7 days because I did my stool test last week, and I will have some sort of informed and organized information that I can use moving forward. So I'm gonna start there and offer that to you as an option. Being able to take action on something that you know why you're doing it instead of just guessing changes the mentality of this whole thing. At least for me, it does. Some other things that you might consider are being gentle when you just don't have an appetite and you don't feel like eating. This is not gonna last forever. It's okay. That being said, when you are hungry and you do feel up to it, eat. Take advantage of it. Eat nutrient-dense foods, which can sometimes feel conflicting, because what does nutrient-dense food often mean? Vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruits, and these might be the same foods that are making you feel extra uncomfortable. Okay, so one option might be to cook those items. Saute down your spinach. Have leafy greens that are not like kale, that have a little less fiber in them but still nutrient dense. Drink a green juice instead. Make a protein shake. I've been doing a lot of protein shake things here because I tolerate them, and it's a way for me to get some protein and nourishment in without having to break a lot down. Which leads me to the next point, that maybe you use a digestive enzyme during this period of time. That might also be part of your protocol moving forward. If you get answers and it shows that you're having a hard time with your digestion, if it helps, even if you don't know why, let it help. I call these like belly Band-Aids. You could use a digestive enzyme. You could also use a digestive bitter that does a similar thing where it helps initiate digestion. The bitterness on your tongue's taste buds actually help to initiate digestion further down. You could try some apple cider vinegar. I never really liked doing that because I don't care for the taste. I'd rather take an enzyme, but I know a lot of people who feel the opposite and a lot of people who actually really enjoy the taste. So those could be choices for you. Sometimes even just a little hot water with lemon can be really soothing and helpful. What if water makes you feel uncomfortable? And I'm saying this because I'm having that experience. Sometimes when you feel so distended and that your clothes already feel so uncomfortable and tight, the last thing that you want to do is drink a bunch of water. I've been finding that electrolytes are helpful for that. It could just be a mental thing. I use Element, and it helps me feel a little bit better. Again, I don't know if this is an actual physiological thing. I mean, electrolytes certainly help with rehydration, but that's not really what we're talking about. However, again, we're talking about just Band-Aids that are going to be helpful during this period of time. So that might be something that could be beneficial for you to consider as well. Okay, so ultimately, figuring out what's going on is going to be the thing that solves this issue. So whether that means working one-on-one with somebody, whether that means ordering a test for yourself if you're able to, whether that means going to the GI doctor if you feel safe going down that route, whether that means talking to a friend or downloading a bunch of free resources from a practitioner that you trust and connect with. I'm going to link all of mine in the video here below so that whatever it is that may be kind of ringing true with you right now is there for you. Okay, that can be an incredible starting point. It can also be an overwhelming starting point. I want to acknowledge that, because if you have been guessing in the dark for a long time, and then you give yourself a whole list of other things to consider, it can feel overwhelming. It can also feel really invalidating, because what if you've already tried all of those things and none of them worked? I want you to know that if that's the case, it's totally normal and completely possible, and we just need more specifics for you. So help yourself to all of the free resources that I'll link here, but if it doesn't feel like the right route for you, then leave them and get the stool test so that you can figure out what the hell is going on, or work one-on-one with somebody. Maybe it's not a stool test that you actually need. Maybe you need a professional to be able to listen to your experience and be able to start to connect the dots so that they can determine what kind of test would actually be the most beneficial. Okay, we're talking about gut stuff, but that we know that doesn't always mean that it stems from the gut. It could be mold, it could be further up in the gut, SIBO instead of something in the large intestine, and we don't get information on the small intestine from a stool test. Your stool is in your colon, your large intestine. And then just to round this out, a couple other very basic things that help: going for a walk, getting some movement, doing some light stretches, which I know this all sounds unbearably cliche, but they really have been things that have been helpful for me. There's also a device called Go With Ease that has it's like a little handheld, kind of like a triangle, and it's about the width of 2 fingers, and you can press, I'm gonna try to back up here. If you can find your belly button and take 2 fingers below your belly button and then press right here, there's meant to be an acupressure point in this area. Admittedly, I don't know the research on this and I don't know a ton about it myself, but we've connected with this brand and the owner is wonderful, and I'll tag her stuff here as well. If you want to take a look at her device, it's really helpful for kind of moving the bowels and gas for some people. If you don't have that device, you can always kind of press, or you could even use like, this is just my phone case, and you can press here. Oftentimes you can also lean against a counter, like a bathroom counter or a kitchen counter. And if you just kind of like hold something in like this for 2 to 3 minutes, oftentimes that can give you a little bit of relief as well. Remember, if I haven't said it enough already, the ultimate goal is to figure out why you need relief. Why do you need these Band-Aids? Why are you waking up not feeling well? Why are you eating food and not feeling well? Why are you feeling totally fine until you try to use your digestive system? I run into that a lot, okay? Remember that stress is playing a role in all of this as well, and if that's been the case for you, upon reflection, just be really gentle with yourself. I'll put some tools in there in the links below for that as well. Let me know what has worked for you so that we can share those tips with each other as well, because sometimes, you know, people are not always ready, and this might be you. You might not be ready to take the deep dive. You might not be ready to do this stool sample. You might not be ready to work with a practitioner. You might not be ready to go to the doctor yet. It doesn't mean that you have to suffer in silence while you're getting yourself to a place of being able to take the next step, okay? So use some of these tips. Let us know what has worked for you. Share this video with the people around you who you think would find it beneficial. Subscribe, like, leave your comments. My name is Kylie. I'm an integrative and functional registered dietitian. We focus on gut health, autoimmunity, and muscle health over here. I will see you all next week.